What is up, the tube? What is up, the Steem blockchain? So today I want to talk about why Steem blockchain is about the people. And it might sound like an obvious statement, but I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into it, what I mean when I say that. And it's mainly because I see there are all kinds of discussions on the Steem blockchain of that it's about the apps, it is about the communities, it is about it's about the curation, it's about the quality content. But in my perception of reality, it is about the people, and I do mean now individual people, individual relationships that you build up with people, your skill, how good you are building up relationships with other people. So you can look at this in two ways. One way you can look at people as the mainstream masses. We need to get the mainstream masses here. We need to get tons of people here. But what I see that people sort of is missing out many times is, I think that the core value is the connections that you do with individual people, that is where the magic happens. That when you just have a massive amount of people, just the group, a group cannot think. Only an individual can think. So if, let's say, you just group people into a big group, let's say, usually you can miss out on a lot of intelligence then. We've seen this on YouTube, or on a YouTube channel also. I know that when you get many people watching a specific video, and I mean, people are not very clever in group settings, but people can be extremely smart if you empower individual people to find their own inner genius, let's say. And I sort of also think that when people are trying to find something wrong with Steem blockchain right now, I think that they're totally missing the point that the code is already out. Now it is about the people. Like, it is that individual people can have so much leverage that it's not really about the masses. It's not about the code anymore, because the code is pretty good. Now it's about how people are using that and how people are relating to each other. And it's about individual sacrifices. So this is what I see happen, that people mainly use the intellect tool, which is a slice and dissect tool. It's a surgeon tool that you must have, and they're trying to dissect people using the intellect. Like, this is what's wrong. And just because Steem is about the people, in my perception, if you try to use the intellect tool and dissect people, they're not really gonna like you. So, because you can't dissect a human, because we humans are so intelligent that trying to dissect us is, you're always going to end up in smaller pieces. You're always going to try to find a flaw while there really isn't any. It's that trust takes a long time, takes a lot of sacrifice, takes a lot of love, okay? Like real love. You have to love a person, from my perception. And just one connection can take 10 months. And that can be a whole year to just building up one person or one better relationship with one person. And this is what I see that people are completely missing out on, that they're trying to look at everything in big group terms, or that it's something wrong to code, it's something wrong to design. Let's be real. If everyone was 100%, let's say, selfless, you would never think about the interface, that it was something wrong with that it's something wrong with the code, that we need more apps. You would be able to use the same thing. And if people were 100% selfless, you wouldn't really have a problem with anything else. So I feel that people misdiagnose. They misdiagnose because they don't want to look at it that it is about the trust. It is about the relationships between the people. And that it's not mega easy to build these networks. Okay, it can be scary because maybe someone doesn't like you. Like, there's a lot of people that's not gonna like you, and there's some people also that are gonna like you, and also that there's no black and white path how to build a relationship with a human. But I can say this, that when you have good networks built up, like real networks, maybe it took a year, maybe it took 2 years to build up those networks, like real trust and relationships. But when you have those networks in place, you don't have to worry about curation or the apps, or something is wrong, or I need to be more on the trending page. You don't have to worry at all about that, because you have invested a lot of time and energy into the thing that's going to give the most leverage in the long run. Let's say a relationship with another person. Let's say you do a lot for another person, and let's say we live to 100 years and you start right now. So that's going to be 75 more. Let's say you're 25, like me. That's going to be 75 more years you are going to have a monetary relationship with another entity. The amount of leverage this is, brain leverage, the amount of businesses you can do together, it is really exponential success, basically. This is also why I never really got the what's the ROI things. For me, token is such a small thing. Token ROI is such a petty thing, to be honest. Because I look at it like it's obvious that a real relationship with another person is going to have a billion ROI, basically. So even trying to calculate it, it's a waste of time. Because doing things the proper way, which most people want to avoid, but doing things the proper way, it keeps things stable for a very, very long time. So I don't think any future app or any future community is where focus should be in. I mean, obviously I understand its importance, but I still see that most of the stuff is just the same in many ways, that you post something and people come to it, and either it's good or it's bad. You post something in text, video, or audio, people come to the page and they either like it or they dislike it. I mean, that's the basics. You can tweak the interface a bit, you can make it frictionless, a little bit easier, yeah, but once we really dive deeper into it, it really comes about making those individual relationships. And it's also this thing that is sort of should in many ways grow in an organic way, simultaneously as you are doing your best job and looking at how you can improve. And then strategically you're going to meet people that are similar like you. So let's say you're hard and smart working, you do this for a couple of months, you're probably going to bump into people that are similar to you, because we humans are sort of working as sponges. So we attract, basically, in many ways, what we are. So I always look at the people how people are going to leverage their brains into bigger possibilities, that these surface layers, the small surface layers, small things that people tweak, it's just a minor thing compared to the massive intelligence of the human. And that if you really want to get big leverage, do special stuff for other people, find out what they like basically, and do cool things for them, listen to them, try to see how you can leverage all kinds of things to make things more enjoyable, bring in entertainment, bring in massive value. We sort of already know what it is that we sort of should do, but I think that a lot of times, because of fear, for example, let's say, people try to speak to just the generic audience instead of focusing in on individual networks, right? Because I think that you can get a higher leverage point if you really find people that are just as dedicated. If you're mega dedicated, you can find very similar people that also trying to do the same sort of things. And I feel that we still gonna see a lot of, like, as long as people are in, let's say, an intellect trap, I will call it a trap, they're still gonna try to dissect everything, and they always try to find the ideal system. But humans are very complex creatures, and if Steem Blockchain is about the people, that means that trying to analyze humans, it's in many ways as if trying to analyze love. So if you try to dissect it, you're never gonna find anything really. But if a person looks at themselves, how they can bring more value to other people's life, and how they can be an inspiration, and how they can set an example, and how they can go beyond their comfort zone. If they're setting an example, that's basically gonna be able to influence more people. It can easier create a larger movement, I would say, than just trying to use the intellect to try to find something wrong. In many ways, I think that's maybe an addiction to the intellect, maybe because of our unconscious, our conscious way of working. A lot of the times, the intellect is always going to find something wrong, because the nature of the intellect is just to slice up and dissect everything. But it's the wrong tool, like, especially if you use it on humans. Hey, it doesn't really work, right? It does not really work. People get annoyed, and people are trying to do these surface layer patches, but in the end, it is about the real networks. It's about how good you are, how skilled you are, how much you've honed that skill of building up long-term networks with other humans. And this is going to take a very, very long time. It's going to take many, many years. It's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot of hard and smart work. But once you have those networks built up, then you're good. You're good because it's so much more valuable than the tokens. Because it takes such a long time to build those up. There's no cheat code, let's say. So yeah, Steem, if you ask me, it's about those individual relationships. It's about the individual people, and it is about empower that individual genius and make it flower. Because if you can empower one individual genius, they might go and start a couple of billion-dollar companies. We don't really know, but then that's going to create such a high leverage point that might take care of everyone else on the planet, just because you did some focused investments where you saw the potential for growth. I should also say that sometimes it's really fine to not be able to vibe with every single person. I mean, some people we match up better with, and it's really fine. We need a difference between people, because that sort of makes life sort of interesting. And we need also people doing all kinds have various roles in life. And yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about that. So I think that it's going to be a topic that's going to come up a lot in the future also, that people are going to try to find, well, it wasn't the apps, it wasn't the communities, why is nothing happening? And these networks that are being built up, they're doing so much behind the scenes. It's same as with the crypto industry, that people think that nothing happens because the price doesn't skyrocket. They don't see the background development and the background testing. So life happens slowly in the background. Same as when a tree grows, it happens slowly in the background. There is nothing, it's not so much on the surface that you can see, but yeah. So I see the Steem blockchain as a network of exchanging trust, building up trust, and that really is something that cannot be taken away. I mean, because it's not something physical, which is pretty funny. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Steem blockchain. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.